We've got Star Wars Rogue One figures here. We have the Vintage Collection Scarif Stormtrooper. And I'm going to go ahead and open the basic line Scarif Stormtrooper also, although it does call him a Shore Trooper here. Same troop, Vintage Collection, standard line here. We can kind of compare and contrast here. We'll talk about why there even is two lines for Star Wars figures. We're especially going to talk about the old Scarif Stormtrooper. Let's open them. Really quick, let me just compare the packaging that this is previewing other figures that you might want to get, despite the incredibly weird random array from different movies. What is all this? You've just used the space to get as many languages onto the back as possible. Lazy. This one does have a bio. Specialist stormtroopers stationed at the top secret Imperial military headquarters on Scarif. These shore troopers patrol the beaches and bunkers of the planetary facility. I don't know if this was released too soon and they were calling them shore troopers and then changed it to Scarif troopers. Sometimes the turnaround on these, you're trying to do it so fast that you're getting stuff wrong. It don't do that. I suppose we'll start with the basic one. Basic one is in more secure packaging than the Vintage Collection slice, which makes sense to me. Oh, secure. Right. Do note that this is the blaster of the basic. Whoa. Alright, so again, maybe it's a little more than 5 just because the head has a tiny bit of swivel, but basically we're talking cha-cha-cha, Frankenstein walk, freeze, bang, bang. I will say that when I saw early photos of the Scarif Trooper helmet, definitely excited me for Rogue One because the design was very Star Wars, looked very in line with the original trilogy, so. There's Mr. Basic. He doesn't look so bad. For the Vintage Collection, of course this was a Walmart exclusive before. You might have saw it in the black and red box as well. So this one just happens to be the carded Vintage Collection Scarif Storm. And it just has a simple bubble to open, unlike the other weird packaging of the basic line. And do note that this is the blaster for the Vintage Collection Scarif Troop. So of course this guy's got not the greatest shoulder maneuverability, but elbow, wrist, tilt on the wrist. Much wider range than, of course, this armor plating's blocking some movement here and there. Can't really go all the way back on the legs. So not a lot, but again, a little bit goes a long way in the articulation when they can hold their blaster a lot more like the movie this way than this way. Bang bang. But, right off the bat, they have different blasters, so there is a nice incentive to get the basic line just for the different blaster, the long blaster, so I can appreciate that. You can see there's kind of some wear and dirt detailing on the Vintage Collection one, whereas the basic one is totally clean. More detail on the back for the Vintage Collection one. The belts have almost the same, except the Vintage does have some silver or some gold detail here. This one they skipped. Everything else about the same other than the articulation, and then the blasters are different. We can talk about price point here. Basic line, $8. Vintage, $13. We got a $5 difference here. And I'm kind of thinking, why would you not just jump up? Well, what savings is there for the $8 figure exactly? And if it's $8, how much is this worth? Because the basic one came with this grapple gun that's not from the movie at all. If we took that away, and it just came with this, what are we talking? $7? $6? Okay, what about that packaging? The packaging with the weird extra bubble wrapping cardboard into the plastic cover. I don't even know what to call it. Vintage Collection is just a bubble stuck to the card backing. So, I don't know, a simpler packaging? Go with simpler packaging? How many dollars does that knock off the price? 8, 7, 6, 5. You know, I'm not a specialist on the topic of the price of the productions and what they have to sell it for and all this, but with Rogue One stuff especially, there's an awful lot of clearance on these. Not this guy because, unrelated of course, but kind of in another problem. Couldn't find this dude in the store. He had to special order it because they stopped showing up at stores because there was too many clearance figures, and couldn't get a hold of this guy because there was no room for him on the shelf with the first wave in the way. So pretty lucky that I even played retail price for this one because it simply wasn't available anywhere to buy in a retail store. But that's beside the point. If the basic figures were hanging there on the shelf, $4.99 price on them, I could see them flying off the shelves a lot quicker. In the vintage collection, the price is really great. I'm happy that they were able to price it what they did when it came back, because it's fairly reasonable. And if there's figures that I want in this style, I'll buy them at that price. And if there are clearance ones, I mean, bonus on that, but I haven't seen a whole lot of that, other than the first wave with some strange choices. But I'm pretty sure I paid full price for this guy just because he was going to look great with some of the other basic Scarif troops I have. So I don't know. Post what you think in the comments here. Is the price point matching up with what you're getting? Because these are about the same figure, and this one is just a lot more posable. When all the troops do in the movie is hold blasters like this, and you can't do it with the basic one, not seeing much point. And when they're $8, I'm not going to buy a whole lot of basics to bolster the numbers either. Bang bang. But the different blasters, that's a step in the right direction. A little variety there for display sake, and then I can buy the basic, trade the blasters. That's nice. If I want the articulated one to hold the longer blaster, since he has the arms for it better, that might actually be nice. So in the movie, these troops look great next to just normal stormtroopers. I'm glad they had them in. They were able to add in another troop that actually kind of made sense to me with the beach camo appearance. Although why they were expecting much combat on a research facility, I'm not sure. Though it was weapons research, so certainly some security there. But there were so many normal stormtroopers there. Kinda, if you're running out on the beaches, I'd be hoping I was wearing this armor for some advantage versus bright, shiny, white stormtrooper armor. But man, the helmet, I love that and then the red logo on it. I don't know, it was just a great design. It might have been an old design from original Star Wars anyway, possibly, but the armor, the helmet, great design, great troop to see in the movies. Alright, and woo, grapple gun. Why not? What is this, Batman? This is great to come with Batman, but, you know, Scarif Stormtrooper. What? How much does this cost to make? I mean, not to rant or anything, but what value does this have? Just make another Naboo accessory kit. Throw this thing in there if you want to make them. Get your basic figures to back up your super articulated vintage collection figures, if you can find them for a fair enough price. Or if you can find them at all, because this one was hard to find. Bang bang. Did you even train? It's not how you hold a blaster. Oh darn.